So now that I'm 30, I feel like I'm at the age where I can give people advice. You know what I mean? Because when you're 20, you don't know shit. But now I got like 10 years of experience knowing shit, right? So I wanted to give some advice to, a younger version of me, anybody out there that's, going into adulthood and, just doesn't know what to expect. Cause like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I ain't have no dad. All right. So like I had to figure out all this shit by myself, how to talk to girls, how to start a business, how to fucking not be weird, how to save, how to lose money, how to save again. Like I had to learn all this shit and I didn't really have many father figures to like give me advice. And I ain't trying to be your fucking daddy, first off. Hey, but while you're watching this video, I want you to know I ain't trying to be your daddy, but hopefully I can help you, and if you have a dad, don't listen to this video. Sorry, this is for dadless people. But yeah, I was thinking about this video and I was like, what piece of advice would I give my younger self, going into adulthood? Because like when I was younger, like I got a lot of advice. I got plenty of really good advice about like making sure your credit score is right, go to school, get a job, start a career, save your money. And I ain't taking none of that shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's my first piece of advice. You not gonna listen to most of the advice people gonna give you. You just gonna do what you wanna do anyway, and then when you learn the lesson from it, that's when the advice kicks in. So it's like for example, I fucked my credit up bad when I was in college. Like when I started college at 18, my credit score was like a 750. And then like I had, I fell back on the rent a little bit, wanted to buy a new PlayStation. I think it was a 3 at the time. If I said 2, y'all would be like, damn, you older than 30. It's a PlayStation 3. Put some respect on my name. But yeah, like I had, I put a bunch of stuff on my credit card and my credit score went down to like a 450, right? And all throughout my childhood, my mom always said, make sure you protect your credit. You never know when you're gonna need it. Your credit is important. You wanna keep it high, keep your balance low. And I was in college, I was like, she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. And then I fucked up my credit and I went down to a 450. And I didn't get the lesson until later on when I needed good credit. Like, oh snap, you need credit to get an apartment. You need credit to get a new bank account, to get a car. Like you need credit for all these things. And then it was like out of necessity, I was able to bounce back on the advice that my mom gave me as a kid, But I had to go through that season of messing my credit up and then realizing, okay, oh snap, you know what, she was right. Let me go back. I guess the piece of advice there isn't necessarily don't take advice. Yes, take advice, think about it. If it makes sense, apply it. Apply it as early as possible, but don't judge yourself if you don't do all the advice that people give you. Go to the gym every day, all this type of stuff. It's like, you're gonna find when that advice applies to your life at your own pace, like not every advice is gonna stick right in that exact moment. But I think the biggest piece of advice that I wanted to share that I think had like a pretty big impact on my life is you only can be where you are. Like there's some levels to that. And your mind might be too supple to understand what I'm laying down right now, but one day you'll get it. You really only can be where you are. Like if you're 18 and you're just now starting college and you're just now building your career and figuring out who you want to hang out with, you can't look at somebody who is 26 and he's making, $150,000 a year as a developer, and you're looking at him like, oh, why am I not there? Why am I not there? Because one, that's not your life. But two, you don't know what path he went through to get there, how much time it took when he started his journey. So you really have to just focus on where you are in this moment. Like for example, I'm making decent money now. I'm not doing too bad. I'm not rich, but bills are getting paid on time. You know what I'm saying? Hey, rent getting paid this month. You feel me? But like there was a point where I wasn't making rent. I was on the verge of getting evicted. And like I would look at my friends who are doing well and they're paying their bills and they're getting these good jobs. And I'm like comparing myself to them. I'm like, man, why am I like, I'm judging myself. Why am I not there? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not making enough money? Why can't I pay my bills? And I kept judging myself. And then you get to a point where you realize, like, one, it's not gonna get you anywhere. But on top of that, this is where I am. I'm not making that much money, and all I can do is work towards making the money that I need to make. And I wanna preface this by saying, like, it's a lot harder than it sounds. You know, like I said earlier, you're gonna hear these pieces of advice, and it's not really gonna stick in the moment. It's like, yeah, it might, like, oh, it gets you pumped up, and then, you know, a week from now, you're still comparing yourself to someone else. You got to learn through experience. Like, I learned through real experience. Like, comparing myself to others or trying to be further ahead than where I am takes you out of the moment. Because sometimes, like, you're going through that moment for something specific, you know, to learn something specific. Like, I feel like, for me, like, when I went through my broke era, God, please don't give me the broke era again. I learned a lesson. I think the lesson for me that I learned from when I was in my broke era was how to get creative, how to get scrappy. Like, sometimes when it comes to paying rent, like, you might not got it, but rent still due. So, like, I might have to sell some stuff on eBay. You know, I might have to pick up some odd jobs. I might have to push myself harder than I've been pushed before. I might not be able to sleep this week. Like, I've learned, like, how hard I really can work because I didn't have money. And now that I have it, I can still apply those skill sets that I've learned from not having money to where I am today. But imagine if you're, like, constantly judging yourself for where you are. Like, oh, why am I here? Why am I not there? When you're not looking at it as, oh snap, I'm gaining something here, you know? So I wish I had this perspective during that point in my life, you know, so I can look and I'm like, okay, even though this is hard, I know I need this to get to the next step, to get to the next place I gotta be. So I know I gotta get through this, and it's something I gotta learn here. You know, there's always something to learn in every situation, good or bad, that you're in. So yeah, I wish I had that, because even now, like, life isn't perfect. Yes, like I said, rent getting paid, but, like, sometimes I'm going through mental stuff, you know, like, I'm not in the best headspace. Sometimes my relationship's not going the way I expected it to go, and me and my fiance are arguing about some bullshit. I'm like, why are we arguing about this? And why can't I just get my shit together? But now I have a newfound perspective when I'm in these down moments. I'm looking at it as, this is just part of me getting to that next phase of myself, the next version of myself, the better version of myself. And you gotta go through hard shit to get better, you know? I don't want to sound like that corny 30-year-old, but it's true. Like, the only way you gain muscle is to work out. You gotta lift weights, and lifting weights sucks, it's hard, and most of the time we don't want to do it. But guess what? You gotta do it. It's the only way. So I think that's like the biggest piece of advice that I wish I just paid attention to at a younger age, you know, in this world. I mean, and the thing is, this applies to, like, every age. Like, yeah, I'm 30 now, but I think this is something that I'm gonna constantly have to remind myself of in the future. Like, when I'm 40, it's like, hey, yes, this sucks that you're going through this, but you're learning this lesson for a reason. You know, either I put myself in this predicament, or this predicament's just happening to me and I have to learn how to get through it. But it's all just a part of the process, you know? And one thing I hate about advice is, like, how wee-woo this sounds. It sounds all like, oh yeah, life is just good. It's the process, you know, just go through the process. And, like, it does sound kind of like, but it's true. It's true. Like, when you turn 30, you'll get it. When you turn 30, you'll understand. But yeah, this is the first video that I am making on this new channel. For those of you who don't know, I'm pretty sure you probably don't know, but I used to do stand-up comedy for a long time. And I don't know, I kind of got tired of doing, like, the sketch comedy videos. It just always felt like I was trying to keep up with everybody else doing sketch comedy. And so I started a business a while ago. So I run a video production company, and, you know, I've learned so much over the years, and I'm like, man, like, I really want to share this with people. So this channel is just going to be a space for me to, you know, help inspire the upcoming generation, people who are entrepreneurs and relationships, people who are trying to figure out finances and investing, all these stuff. And let me tell you something. Again, I ain't perfect, you know, but I'm doing pretty well. A lot of the areas of my life are doing better, and I feel like a lot of my friends struggle with these areas, you know, whether it's their relationship, their finances, their business, you know, path in life, fitness, all this stuff. And I don't know, I feel like I just want to share what I've learned through my process of trying to better myself to hopefully better other people so they can better other people. And then, you know, the fucking butterfly effect, you know? So, first video of many. Subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more videos like this and learn more and just hang out with your boy. But yeah, I guess I'll catch you on the next one.